That's pretty dead on. I couldn't have done that better. I'm just saying. I'm pointing.
Well done. Well done,
I
sir.
mean, if you're watching the stream, shout out Baloo. Come on, tell me that wasn't good. That's all I'm saying. All right. Well, welcome to Echo Chamber, the session in between sessions. Excited to be here and excited to have everybody on camera. I feel like last couple Echo Chambers, you know, not that they've been lackluster, but I just something about when we all turn our camera on, there's more camaraderie. I don't know if you guys
You know
feel
what?
that same way.
I'm a, I'm in agreement with you. It's not the same without the camera. So I'm glad I
Seems
can make
like
it
the
happen. I'm
reminder
long overdue.
holds up, but
I mean, yeah, there are reasons nonetheless. I'm just saying, I just feel more camaraderie when cameras are on. I don't know if it's because I can read facial expressions, see the excitement in you guys, or what. But Eric, I expect you to comment on every single thing that we talk about in the chat. I love it. Thank you for being here. Even though I hope the girls' practice and tryout went well. Back
Yes,
to
yes.
the session. My apologies. So. Couple quick things. So we got a couple questions. In this past session, we found out that the frost giants are going crazy on the coast. So now we have experience with fire, hill, and semi-death in a dream, right? And now we're going to have a fourth type of giant that we've experienced. So I'm just curious, from a player standpoint, Rusty, what is your way of your character learning or taking on a new type of villain? You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking my character is based on what he already has faced, and he just, all right, it's a giant, I'm going in. But I'm curious as to the other side of that for a ranged person. Like, how do you take on something you haven't faced before?
so my kind of first thing is I like to see them make an attack or two just to see, are they magical in any way? Is there something where, I suspect they may have resistance to a certain element, whatever, you know, fire giants bring fire elementals. I'm pretty fire heavy as far as my spell book goes. So, I feel I'm a little bit fire giant fights are fucking stressful for me because I know I can't do the damage that I could to, someone like a frost giant. So for me, I'm going to go in with a little bit more caution, I think, than we went into our first fire giant fight with. Because we had the first fight that was like it went way better than it had any business going. Like, let's be honest here, we should have been fucking dead, right?
That was a little
That
bit
killed
of
me.
that was a little bit of like we took the DM by surprise, and he was like, "I was just gonna walk out. What are you guys doing? What do you what? All right, that's what we're doing."
Yes.
Because we had and memory's a little fuzzy because it's been a while now, but we did have a second fire giant fight where it was like, all right, we're no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in our defense, that second fire giant fight was not actually to really fight them. It was to kind of like pull them in, let them take it, and then follow them. Just see if we could figure out
That
what
is
was going
true.
on.
That is true.
Um,
Um,
I still
but
love the first fire giant fight. Like that is still up there in my mind. Top five moments for me of the
That was a
campaign.
great one.
I
I
just love the
loved it.
dick swinging we've been able to do with the fire giant fingernails and stuff since then.
Wait. Dick swinging that Griswold's been doing. Let's clarify.
I mean, I think I've asked him to present the fire giant fingernails once or twice though
Yeah,
too. So it's
for sure. And yeah, I mean him being able to like throw him over his shoulder as we walk through town, plop him out because there for a while he was pulling him out every chance he got.
that's true. That's true.
You guys have gotten your mileage out of them, that's for sure.
And we've
Yeah.
used them for potions. So in
Mm.
my mind, I'm also drinking one of those potions. You know what I mean? If we get into a giant or a fight with giants, I think it's worth drinking a potion.
Yeah. Yeah. For Emrook, absolutely. I think if we come down if it comes down to it and we come head to head with some frost giants, I I don't want to be quite as gung ho as first fire giant fight, but not going to be quite as cautious as our lure him in and then chase him fight.
Yeah. Somewhere in the middle. So for me, facing any giants is we need to get at least a couple people close enough to them that they're not going to keep lobbing boulders. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like, and I could be completely wrong because I have not looked into frost giants on purpose so that I don't know anything about them. But you know, in previous encounters, that's what you need to do. You need to get up in their face. I mean, hopefully our meat shield isn't our backline in this case. Evan, if you're listening, we need you to get up there, buddy. Even if you have to waste Misty Step, like we need you up there as quick and as close as possible. But we have to balance that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm interested to fight, but maybe they're out of our league. Could be wrong.
Yeah, and being in a position though where fireball is actually useful, and I've got another flame based attack that I have not broken out yet. That I gained at our last level up.
All right.
Um, that will also be very useful against them. So I'll keep. I mean, won't be hard to figure out what the spell is, but I'll keep it a secret at least for now, just to.
All right, we'll have the reveal. Maybe even tomorrow. Is that when we're doing this? Are we playing tomorrow?
It seemed like other than Ashley, that was a decent day. I don't remember what Eric said though.
Eric said he was in. We haven't heard from Keegan. And Carl was the other open one. So Ryan and Keegan were the two opens right now.
Eric is out.
Oh.
We did talk. He just talked in the chat. So he just typed it in the chat. He also said that bring on the Scarecrow Giants for Siddle with his flame attack. That'll go well. And he also mentioned with the second fire giant, something or someone went a little off script. So if you remember, like the whole plan was let them take it and follow them. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
But
I didn't even see the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
I just torching a scarecrow giant, just like fucking Wicker Man. That'd be fantastic.
It would be exactly like Wicker Man. That's awesome. And then we also found out that secretly one of our party members from town to town has been casting suggestion on people to take their properties. At least at lower cost. Not for completely free, but he's like, I ain't got 8,000. Here's 500. Oh, by the way, you'll take it. Like, so how do we feel as a party once we find this out? Because obviously we know, but our characters don't. And so I'm curious to see how someone like Griswold responds. I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you think? How do you think? Yeah, I'm gonna change it up on you. How would Mordai respond?
Ooh.
Mordai would shed a little tear. He'd be so proud.
He'd be so
I'd be
proud.
so proud. I would think he overpaid a little bit. I'm a little jealous from Mordai, quite frankly. Mordai would be very impressed and have to one up him and try to get a house for $250 next time, without suggestion. That'd be.
In Mordai's defense, you got a boat for free, right? I mean,
that's true. That is very true. The start of our fleet.
Yeah.
So, house for 500, boat for free. You got to weigh your options there.
I think we have to watch how it plays out. We have to see how big of a fleet we can build up.
By the way, Eric, we decided in that campaign we're going back to Baldur's Gate and we're just going to start a fleet and just live there. So I'm sorry about the world falling apart around us, but after the discussion on, let's see, we're going to become arms dealers and the spice trade, right? So
yeah, spice trade and arms dealers.
We've now decided the other party should probably encapsulate the Navy. So that's where we're at on both.
Yeah.
Then one day these two parties can team up.
Made, man.
Yeah. But yeah, so I am interested to see the Frost Giants. We'll see how it goes, but I'm sure there's some other shiny things on our way to Luskin, I believe is where we're headed. So I'm excited. I don't know. I am excited to see how people react to Warwick's deception, we'll say, but I'm also excited to keep moving forward. So I know this past one was a little bit more RP heavy, but I'm itching to battle a frost giant.
I know, and it was. We've been doing a lot of battles recently. It slowed down some of the progression, so we had to turn it around a little bit.
I really like the change up myself, though. I
Did
mean,
you? Okay, good. I was a little worried about it.
Oh
because
yeah,
I
no, that wasn't a complaint, by the way. That was just
Okay,
yeah.
I
yeah, I
worried a lot after
found
that
the change
session.
fairly heavy into role play and whatnot.
I think it was needed after the whole Great Escape and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
one of those things. Let's clear some stuff up, and then we can get back to fighting. Oh, by the way, don't kill anybody. That type of stuff. So
It almost feels like the stakes are higher sometimes with role play than they are with battles because it's what I say could have such a massive impact on. Like there were so many things where I'm like, man, I'm really fucking glad I said that to Holdier. No,
Helder.
Helder.
Helder. I keep
Yep,
confusing the two names, but a couple
I
of times I
know.
was like, man, I'm really glad I said that. I'm really glad like we produced the poster for Helder and whatever because having to actually make the case versus some hand wavy, I can say whatever I want and it doesn't really matter. Like, no, that could have gotten us into big trouble, I'm thinking.
Yeah, as a group, you saw the results of what happens whenever you RP poorly in this particular exact location. This is the
Yeah.
tale of two visits.
The Tale of Two Visits. E. That's the name of the episode. I love it. The Tale of Two Visits. Yeah, no, it's funny to me like how things like that kind of fall into place sometimes, and that's could be either good or bad, but it's just funny. Like we could have not taken the poster, right? But for some reason we did, and then it came
Yeah.
back, and we were like, we have that poster. Show them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was my like, oh God, I really hope there's one hanging up here somewhere. Or if we don't still have that one, like I'm sending someone running for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was posted all around there. The acts at
Mm.
Chamb3r are like that way. Uh,
And it was
Go ahead.
I was trying to say, hey, this guy's a fugitive without saying, dude, you hired this motherfucker. And his face is plastered around your town.
Yeah,
And
for
you
sure.
walked a very fine line on that. That was beautiful. I thought you did a heck of a job. The way you guys handled that very well.
I agree, and I wanted to give you props, Rusty, because I feel like this past session was probably your heaviest RP. Like you
It's
stepped
true
up
too.
quite a bit. You and Grizz actually made a really good team for that. I mean, I don't know how the DM feels, but I feel like I was just kind of sitting back watching because you guys actually made a pretty good team on the convincing front. You know?
I was impressed. This one could have gone a lot of different ways. You had the benefit of the advantage coming into it, but you guys played it so well, so well. I was very impressed from this side. It almost went too smooth, but that's why I was afraid it was boring.
Sometimes those really smooth ones feel good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then especially after a really like heartfelt like we'll never be able to go back to this town and then to smooth things over, that there was a feeling of accomplishment. And Evan talked to me afterwards and he was like, "Man, are we gonna level up?" I was like, "No, I think we got a couple episodes still. We didn't even fight anything." And he was like, "Yeah, but we get XP when we accomplish things." So
That you do.
Mm.
yeah, and we're still not leveling.
No, not too far away though. You're right.
Yeah,
Just a few episodes.
couple frost giants and we should be there. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one more thing I want to kind of throw in there, and this is more of just like let's have this discussion. I have not actually validated. So E, you're in chat. If you hear it and it's wrong, let me know. But so I was watching, or I had a YouTube video on the other day, and it was talking about the Nat 20 and Nat 1 rule. And they said from the player's handbook, the Nat 20 and Nat 1 rule, like the success or failure, did not go for ability checks. So same way that we started,
Mm-hmm.
right? However, it did say a Nat 20 and a Nat 1. This person said in the player's handbook, a Nat 20 revives you at 1 HP, which I thought was kind of weird because we just pulled that from other sources. But if that's in the player's handbook, I'm like, oh, okay. And then the Nat 1 is, of course, the failed two death saves. Um, And then on top of that, another thing that they said was in the PHB was that a nat 20, no matter the AC of the creature or foe, is an automatic hit. And I thought that one was interesting too, because you look at like dragons and these giants and stuff like that. A nat 20, in theory, for most of us would be a hit because of our pluses, but a Tarask, for instance, you know what I mean? It may not be if we don't have enough pluses. So that it was kind of interesting that is absolutely a hit on a nat 20, just like the automatic success. So I want
Rolling a
thoughts.
1 or 20 on death saving throws. When you make a death saving throw on a roll and roll a 1, it counts as 2 failures. If you roll a 20, you regain 1 hit point.
So it brings you back up. So that is actually
Hmm.
the way it is in the book, and I never knew that because we didn't, but we kind of talked about it and decided to play it that way anyway. So I thought that was interesting.
I did not know that. How about that?
Yeah.
I think I actually knew that one, but it was one of those things where like I bought my player's handbook and like just read through a bunch of shit and like, oh, neat, and never really, consumed so much crap that it's hard to remember where exactly it came from.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that completely. So I'm glad you brought up the alternative.
How about this? And E brought it up in chat. So it's DM discretion, obviously, for a lot of these rules, especially in game. But we talk about it. And so, what about the nat 20 absolutely hits no matter what the AC of the creature? How do you feel about that as a DM?
I'm in agreement with that. I mean, even the Tarask, you can find the sweet spot. There, there's an old Far Side cartoon that I think about often, back from caveman times, and the caveman threw the spear. It's sticking at a single point. It takes down an entire mammoth with one throw of the spear, I think he says, "Mark that spot down." And so I think that's your net that's your nat 20. I mean, everyone can get the lucky shot in the nerve or between the plates. So that's what I think of for the nat 20.
All right, all right. I dig it. I heard those and I was half listening and then they kind of sunk in later and I felt like we needed to just chat about them. But Nat 20, Nat 1 rules, so stuff you didn't know.
Yeah, and yeah, I like that because even if it was an AC 1 and you threw a nat 1, you're still missing too. So it goes the opposite way. Not that there's any AC 1s that I can think of, but
I just found the Far Side comic you were talking
oh, did
about.
you?
It's
It's a
exactly
good
that.
one.
We should write that spot down.
All right. With that, you know what time it is. If you're watching the chat, go ahead and unmute it. If you want to view it later, go for that. But
No,
it's
no.
time. I'm hoping it actually works with the transition. Now that I think about it, I don't know that it will, because of
You
the
got,
way the transition works for OBS. So I think I have to hit it and then click transition really quick. E, you're gonna have to tell us how this works, because
I've got it on a separate machine, so I'm listening too.
Stats check.
it's running right now. All right, and now it's over. Did it go off for everybody? I'm just curious.
Yep,
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Uh, tell us what you think.
I love
Eric
it.
laughed quite a bit. So awesome. So that's stats chat. Let me go ahead and turn on the map, and then I'm saving the best for last. I'm saving the magic item of the week for last. Now, I just wanted to throw this one out here again. We talked about this funnel chart. I really like it. We did modify it a little bit to make it look a little bit more readable, we'll say. But I really like this. If you haven't got a chance to look at it, Rusty, check it out. It does. You're able to select by character and see the damage you did per encounter and stuff. Really cool. But something else, and we were just
I'm not seeing it
toying.
right now, Carl.
Oh, did it not go? My bad.
No,
No, it could go over and then jump back.
Did it go now?
There it is.
Okay, okay. We'll say that again. The funnel chart, some small tweaks and stuff, but I really like the ability to be able to click on the actual person and then see, based on I'm on all encounters right now, but if you were to filter it down to the S Society, then it would show you just the damage you did, and so you can kind of figure out why didn't I do damage, that type of stuff. So for instance, I think when we first did this, we looked at the Kobold battle. I forget what it was called. Was that Celesticals? One or the other. Um, and
Yep.
I looked at like Althea's. And Althea, if you're watching, this is not any sort of flame at all. It was just one of those things where like I was surprised at how low damage, and then so I clicked on it and started looking through and figured out, oh, it was because the distance. And I think for Althea, Eric and I talked about it, it was, she just needs to be able to close the distance, whether that's, bonus action dash or using, all three to get your 90 feet, whatever it is. And I think that's one of the reasons Amrook has such a high damage is because he's able to get in there and start swinging. You know what I mean? So that led me to this sheet. Tell me what you think. It's open for you guys as well. This one is a fighting style trends type build. So it's just using the overlapping um, line charts, right? But it's you can go ahead and I've got it down by there. You can separate it by I think we put an episode in here would be nice too. But so this is going to be all, so you can see like you're trending over time. Your dark blue, sorry, is the number of attacks, and this is split up per episode. They're down at the bottom, but so you could filter it down if you needed to. And this kind of gives you that trend. So if I go down, don't want to call anybody else out, but if I start to look at the number of attacks in dark blue, I can kind of see, well, there's definitely a correlation between my number of attacks I get in and the damage output, and that type of stuff. And you can see some peak numbers there. But if I just don't attack, you can see there's low numbers. So it just kind of gives you, if you've been feeling a little lackluster over the past couple or whatever like that, you can come to here and see, oh, well, that's why I've been feeling lackluster, that type of stuff. And sometimes it's just the roll of the dice, right? Sometimes that's just the way it works. But I really like this as well to be able to just dive into, and you can see Evan, I know I said I wasn't going to call anybody out, but you can see Griswold's numbers here. When we first
Cool.
started the campaign, well, when we first started tracking, I guess, so that was Grudhog, his damage was up there, and then slowly it's now decreasing. And if you look at the number of attacks as well, right? He did have a couple that were up there, and he just rolled poorly. But one attack, one attack, one attack. So I mean, it's just one of those
Definitely
things
trending downward, yeah.
where there's definitely a trend there, and you can see it with Reed. And so I thought it was really cool to just be able to see that, and you can see, oh, look, Warwick, when he attacked 12 times, he had a lot of damage. But when he doesn't
Still,
attack,
huh?
you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do. So it's one of those, we do need support people, but we also, there's a correlation between what goes on. That's all.
So what's
Uh,
and I apologize if you already went through that because I was busy or I was distracted looking through it. What's the gap on the couple of episodes there? Is that just missing data?
so
Or
so
the
that's going to be Arid and the Death Giants, and not all of us were there for those, right? Those
Ah,
were
Got it.
episodes in which,
Got it. Got it.
yeah.
Got it. Got it.
So, like, and in some cases, like Amrook was there, but he was talking to Arid, so there's not
Right.
going to be any attacks because he didn't
hmm.
attack. So, but I just thought it was really cool to look at. I don't know if we're going to keep it, and then I will mention this one again in case Evan watches. We do track Bless, and we track how much extra damage that Bless has helped cause, and that's at 76. And I think it's only been cast 5 times at 76. So think about that. We talk about healing spirit being broken, right? And how much healing it does, but if Bless can do 76 damage in basically 5 casts, you know what I mean? Think
So the
about that.
question is, does Griswold have an extra 15? Does he hit more than 15 points whenever he attacks? Because he's using Bless as his one action. If he attacked for his action instead of using Bless, he would have to just break 15.
But so that's 5 separate battles, right? That's 5 separate casts. That's not, you know, multiple turns in a row. So I think we might have lost Garrett, but oh, there he is.
Did you lose
So
me?
yeah, just for a second. So that's him casting it first round and then getting into battle and then them just like being able to utilize bless from there.
That's true.
So we're only hindering one hit. So unless he does 76 damage in one hit, then it's worth it.
All right,
You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying,
I got you.
doesn't always work out mathematically, but because you never know, as he jumps in, he might get hit and lose it right away, right? And then it does feel like a wasted turn. But at the same time, it's if you can empower 3 people to get hits.
Yep. And that doesn't count the few saves that he's had because of it, right? We've had a few.
Yeah, probably. I thought we had
Probably noted
something
there were
here
2 or
for
3.
saves. I forget. We'll have to talk to Eric at some point, but
Yeah,
I
I remember on one
swear
of
we
the.
have. Yeah. Um, let's go to him directly. I think this might be it. No.
Oh, okay. He says he's not sure if he's been recording saves.
Okay. Which,
Maybe we just recalled it that there were a few saves.
yeah, possibly. Because, I mean, chances are, with his aura, with Warwick's +1 for luck, or lucky, and that type of stuff, there have been quite a few. And so, Bless would help, especially on, like, dex saves and stuff like that, because not all of us are the most dexterous.
Got it. Yeah, we must have just recalled that then during one of the sessions.
Probably. But, with that, Rusty, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's
Is
do
this
it.
gonna be your song?
All right, I gotta put my headphones back on my other machine.
You might have missed it. If you need to, I can play it again. There's a delay, so you might be good.
I love it.
I mean, they're not great, but it's a it's a
It's
great
got
starter for us.
it's got like
I love
that
it.
perfect early '80s synth tone to it,
That's
and
what I was
I got a
going
soft
for.
spot for that shit, man. It's great.
That's what I was going for. That and on the stats chat one, I was just stats chat like auto tuned everything. I'm you know what? I'm not a
I was pumped.
musician. I am not a musician, so I am perfectly happy with it. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to like sit down and make your own song. It's
Oh, it
not
is
as
very
easy as you
difficult.
think. No,
Very difficult.
it's definitely not as easy as you think.
So, all right, I got 3 fun ones tonight. So, first one up is the Tome of Clear Thought, which,
I don't know this. I'm excited.
Yeah.
yeah, incredibly powerful object here. Wondrous item, very rare. So this book contains
Very
memory
rare.
and logic exercises. Its words are charged with magic. If you spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer studying the book's contents and practicing its guidelines, your intelligence score increases by 2, as does your maximum for that score.
Whew.
Yeah,
So that's like a permanent thing, and you don't have to attune to it, right?
correct. Yeah, you have to study it for 48 hours over the course of 6 days or fewer, and then once it's used, it's used. So after it bumps up
So,
your score, it loses its magic, and then
right.
regains it in 100 years. So one
Oh,
person essentially
wow.
can use this.
That's awesome. No, I really like that one.
Oh,
So they've kind of made it so that multiple people can't use it either. So it's going to be
Right.
let's choose who in our party gets
This is
this.
this is presumably one of those, like, yeah, there's one person, or there's one copy of this book in the entire, you know, in this plane of existence or whatever.
well, I think it's clear in this party who needs to use it. Griswold.
That's who I was assuming. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Well,
let's be honest. As soon as he sees it, he's going to be like, you know, his eyes will light up. I was thinking, guys, I think I should probably use that. That way, because I'm frontline and that will get my intelligence higher. He will rationalize it in some way, I guarantee.
oh,
So
absolutely.
Cyril, yours is all spell casting, correct?
Yeah.
Or intelligence for your spellcasting?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that'd be a huge boon for you.
Now I'm second guessing myself.
It would be something that would be helpful for like those perception checks or investigation checks, that type of stuff as well, because right, it boosts that intelligence modifier, so it automatically helps those as well.
Well, those would all be wisdom though, perception. Yeah, I guess investigation, perception,
Investigation, yeah.
religion, history. But I guess that still goes to Siddle with the good history and arcana.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm game for it. I'm just saying, like, if you've already got yours high enough, would it be worth bringing up a lower intelligence?
Well, that's always the question. Do you, for any of these magic items, I'm always curious how you guys are gonna handle it. Do you bring up your lowest, or do you
What
excel on the highest,
you
or do you
mean,
give
like
it to your backline frontliner,
you mean like those gauntlets that Rusty says
like the
every
gauntlets?
time I'm gonna get those back, and then he doesn't.
I
Ding!
always want to get, man. We need that. We
We
need
want
that
to
counter.
Yeah,
throw on the
exactly.
counter.
Oh, don't you worry. We've got 2 on the counter already. Let's see. Um,
Um,
what else we got? I could definitely see that being helpful for us, but I can also see us never finding it
well, yeah.
because it's
So
so
the next,
Time
rare.
to time to throw you guys a shiny object.
yeah. Next one up here is the Necklace of Prayer Beads. This is a rare, wondrous item that requires attunement by a cleric, druid, or paladin. This necklace has 1d4 plus 2 magic beads made from aquamarine, black pearl, or topaz. It also has many non-magical beads made from stones such as amber, bloodstone, citrine, coral, jade, pearl, or quartz. If a magic bead is removed from the necklace, that bead loses its magic. 6 types of magic beads exist. The DM decides the type of each bead necklace or determines it randomly. A necklace can have more than one bead of the same type. To use one, you must be wearing the necklace. Each bead contains a spell that you can cast from it as a bonus action, using your spell save DC if a save is necessary. Once a magic bead spell is cast, that bead cannot be used again until the next dawn. So this is another very powerful object here. The 6 spells: Bless, Cure Wounds, Greater Restoration, Branding Smite, Planar Ally, and Windwalk.
Okay.
Interesting.
Side
So
note, I got very distracted halfway through there because when you said citrine, I'm like, what stone is citrine? Where have I heard that before? I think that was the element that the wish stone in Wonder Woman 84 was. I think it was made out of citrine. I don't know if you guys have seen
I've
it.
not seen that one, so I have no idea. I'm just gonna
No.
nod and agree.
I think it was made out of citrine. But anyway, back to the actual item. No, so how does in my mind, I was also like, okay, so what if you're multi-classing? What if we find an item and then like the part we don't have that in the party, and then someone's like, I'm gonna multi-class to be able to use that. Is that like, uh, is that a no-no or is that like strategy?
I mean, I feel like that's like, hey, I bought this new fucking, yeah, I bought a trombone at the Goodwill or something. I'm gonna learn how to play it. Like,
That's the way I
that's
see
the
it.
same thing, right?
I don't know
Yeah.
if I'd buy a trombone from Goodwill, but
Well, hell no, that was just my random example, but
all right. I bought an accordion from Goodwill. I'm gonna learn how to play the accordion. Gotcha. Okay, so it's
no. If
not.
anyone finds an accordion at Goodwill, buy it. I'll pay it back. I always
Yeah.
wanted
I
to
mean, these
learn
are
that.
all learned, for the
I
most part, learned skills.
I would definitely buy an accordion at Goodwill. That's all I'm saying. And my only concern would be the maintenance of said accordion because you don't know what kind of shape it's in. But if you get a good deal, like you might as well play it for 6 months and then it falls apart. That's
Yeah.
that's the way it works.
Then you learn accordion maintenance, and it's just a fucking downward spiral. Suddenly you're Weird Al Yankovic's accordion guy, and it was all worth it for a $20 accordion.
Wow.
That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
fucking
I
cool
mean,
would that be?
it took way out there, but I like it. Like,
So you guys are hiding your spice trade and your arms dealing behind your accordion repair business, is what you're telling me.
Exactly.
bingo,
Exactly.
done. Uh, we do have a bard to play the accordion. You're actually onto something, I think. All right, gents. With that, I think
I got one more. One more.
Yeah.
My
No, we got 3.
apologies. My
No, that's
apologies.
all right. I wouldn't have made a big deal out of it if it weren't for how fucking funny I think this one is.
All right, let's hear it.
So this is the Well of Many Worlds. This fine black cloth, soft as silk, is folded up into the dimensions of a handkerchief. It unfolds into a circular sheet of 6 feet in diameter. You can use an action to unfold and place the Well of Many Worlds on a solid surface, whereupon it creates a two-way portal to another world or plane of existence. Each time the item opens a portal, the DM decides where it leads. You can use an action to close an open portal by taking hold of the edges of the cloth and folding it up. Once the Well of Many Worlds has opened a portal, you can't do it again for 1d8 hours. This is the fucking like instant Acme holes from Looney Tunes.
This is fantastic.
I was just thinking, do you think we could open it up, get Griswold to go through it, and then just close it back up?
And 1d8 hours later, we can open it back up and go grab him if the DM decides it's going to the same place.
That's like a really cool escape tool, though, too, right?
Potentially.
Because
But
I'm
it's
thinking,
also, there's a lot of risk there because you could just...
All right, gents. I'm just going to throw this out there. That sounds... So instead of the DM deciding where it goes, it's a random roll to where it goes. That sounds like the start of our Quantum Leap campaign.
my gosh,
Each leap we hope to be the leap home.
that is amazing. Oh my gosh, that's a perfect thing
That's
for that
fantastic.
campaign. Oh man,
I love it. I love it. That's how it starts out. We found the Well of Many Worlds, and
I'm
it changes
serious
persona
about
when you
this
jump
thing.
through. I know.
And I'm just like, I just have to laugh because I pulled this one up on my random sheet and I'm like, fucking Wile E. Coyote dropped this out of the cart and we found it on the trail, you know?
I like the Acme reference there. We're gonna paint it on the cave side, on the wall
Absolutely.
side.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Quantum Leap, not the show, but we talked about a couple episodes back about starting a one-shot series, I guess you could call it, in which
Yeah.
a campaign, I don't know,
Yeah, a one-shot campaign.
one-shot campaign. That's going to confuse people more so than the Phandalin Phive confused Griswold and many others in this past episode. I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to help Amrook out, but at one point when it didn't go, just give up. Like, let's go.
He was digging himself in a hole on that one. I loved it.
Anyway, so we talked about this one-shot campaign in which we would actually travel around to different locations slash worlds slash whatever, but we could actually use historical places. We could use different things that actually exist, and it turned into like a quantum leap type thing where we're placed in this place accidentally, and we have to figure out what's wrong and fix it before we can go on to the next place.
Different characters, different DM every jump.
Yeah.
So you show up, you solve the quest, and then we jump to the next one. New DM, new characters.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool way to do
That is
like multiple one shots
fantastic.
and keep going. And like the levels stay consistent, right? So
Yeah, that's
but
the way I would see it.
I do see, so like what when we say one shot, like a lot of times that's one like session. In this case, this one shot would be multiple sessions. So you make the jump and it might take you, 8 sessions to actually
Yep.
accomplish before you can jump again.
They're basically non sequitur quests.
Yeah.
All independent of each other is the way I see it.
It's like a bunch of mini campaigns all in
Exactly.
one strung out campaign. Really cool. I'm glad you brought that, Rusty. And I'm all for
Me
this
too.
thing. If we decide to go down there, I actually talked to Evan, and I think I got him convinced to do a one shot that he'll DM
All right.
it. He's not fully on board yet, but I mean, I'm trying. I'm trying to convince him.
He can be
you should just
convinced.
do it.
When we get close to this, and then we make a well of many personas. And
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
go ahead. That's it. I was just gonna say then we jump in, and that's where you end up at your next non sequitur.
So basically, the leveling will remain constant. The characters, sort of change, like, because that was, it's been fucking forever since I've seen Quantum Leap, but, So basically, you would still be the same class and everything, correct? You just name would change, whatever. You're correcting historical mistakes or whatever. That's like the premise of the TV show.
It
Huh.
is?
I didn't think about that because I was thinking you would
No, I
actually
didn't
just be a
either.
new character with the same personality. So you would have to play your new character, whether that was, a fighter turning Amrook turning into a wizard,
Hmm.
and I would still have Amrook's personality, but I would be a wizard now. You know what I mean? But I
Ooh,
I'm not against the
ooh.
That's
idea of the fighter staying fighter. It just gives you the
I'm just
opportunity to play
thinking
multiple classes.
that would be my perfect opportunity to do the fucking psychotic, like, let's build a nuke artificer.
yes.
A lot of character creation I could see would be necessary. That's all I'm saying.
It'd
Because
be heavy character creation. The concern I would have was you're right. If we did jump around to the various classes, it would take a lot of new learning. We'd become very experienced with it in the end, but it could be a bit rough. We could stick within the same class, like fighter, but with different feats, different. What do you want to call them? Mini selections along the way. So slightly different builds within the same class. I don't know. We have to. That'd be a discussion among the group, I would say.
or you are become a multi-class or something like that. But how do you feel about if the DM actually makes, or you make for someone else, like I would make for Rusty's quantum character? You know what I mean? That way you don't actually know
Ooh.
what you're going into, and
See,
and make it so like I don't know who I'm making for as well, and then that would be kind of cool too.
See, I kind of like the randomness of that. I create, 5 characters and then
I
randomize who it goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. I just was throwing it out there so I didn't put it all on you to make the characters, because
No,
we could
all
all just
right,
make batches of characters, give you the character sheets,
exactly.
and then when it comes time, whoever the DM is would disperse.
We could as a group build out different characters for every level in advance, and then just pass them out as they come, not knowing who's going to be the DM for what.
That's awesome.
So basically, like everyone goes through, you make 20 characters. I mean, it's assuming we got
Yep,
up that high, whatever. But everyone go through, make 20 characters. You roll up a level one, roll up a level two, roll up a level three.
yep,
Pick a different class for every one of them. Does
yeah.
like
Just mix it
basically
up,
does the
have
meta
fun with
stay
it.
the same or
You might have to have some backup characters, because what if your character dies in the leap?
Yeah, and you can build some more along the way there, but we can do them in batches of 5 as well or so.
maybe we have a designated spare?
There you
Spare,
go.
you know, it, at each level, one person. I don't know. Hey,
That's the
you make a spare character for levels, 1, 5,
Mm.
10, 15, whatever. And then if someone dies, you just get that character. It's just you inherit this one spare.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Eric gives a suggestion that you pick the character out of the hat, like
When you die, you
completely
become Sam.
random.
I was thinking the same thing. When you die, you become Sam. No control over the world, but you can come in with more information. You're basically the history guru.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here, and thank you
Yep.
guys for coming on the session with me. Looking forward to it. And not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or Sunday or when we're going to do it. Definitely not Saturday. I don't think many people
Yep.
are available for Saturday. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.